Have you ever done this heart-wrenching calculation? If you invest a fixed amount every month, no matter if the market goes up or down, how much money will be sitting in your account in 20 years? The number will keep you up at night, not out of fear, but out of regret that you didn't start 10 years earlier. We've all secretly dreamed of it. No more answering to a boss, no more cramming into rush, or MRST waking up and deciding what to do with your day. Most people think this is only possible if you win the lottery. But today I'm going to tell you about a method proven by decades of data and trusted by investors worldwide. Give it time, and it will turn your debt and salary into income, generating assets, then turn those assets into a steady stream of cash flow. You'll finally make money from a system, not from selling your time. The core of this method is S&P 500 index investing. With dividends reinvested, the S&P 500 has delivered a consistent long-term average annual total return of around 10% since its launch in 1957, real returns verified by nearly 70 years of data. By the end of this video, you'll fully understand three things: why buying a basket of America's top 500 companies is 10 times safer than picking individual stocks for ordinary people, exactly how much money you need to never have to work for a paycheck. Again, the simplest, easiest way for people in Taiwan to invest in it. Here's the truth. Over 80% of active large-cap fund managers fail to beat the S&P 500 over the long run. That's why everyone eventually comes back to index investing. First, the question everyone asks: why the S&P 500? Why not Taiwan stocks, crypto, or real estate? Think about this. If you open your own shop, what are your odds of success? The harsh reality is that most businesses don't even survive the first 3 years. Markets are brutal. Trends change overnight, and betting everything on one company or one idea is insanely risky. But what if instead of betting on one shop, you bought a piece of the 500 most competitive companies in America? The entire risk structure changes. The iPhone you use every morning is Apple. The computer you work on runs Microsoft. You binge Netflix after work, search Google for information, drink Starbucks coffee, and pay with Visa. All these brands you can't live without are in the S&P 500. You're not betting on one company's luck, you're betting on the long-term profitability of America's entire large corporate system. Even better, the S&P 500's 500 companies aren't fixed. It has an automatic refresh mechanism. Underperforming companies get kicked out, and new industry leaders get added. Decades ago, the top weights were industrial and energy companies. Today, they're tech and communication services firms. You don't have to guess what the next big trend will be. This system automatically weeds out the weak and brings in the strong. Look at history. It has survived recessions, post-war reconstruction, oil crises, the dot-com bubble, the 2008 financial crash, and the COVID pandemic. Every time the market crashes, the news screams, the end of the world. But zoom out, and the market always recovers and hits new highs. Comment: it really has survived every single crisis. It doesn't never go down. But its foundation is rock solid. It doesn't bet that one company will never make a mistake. It bets that the entire business system will keep evolving. Investing in the S&P 500 isn't betting on one stock skyrocketing. It's believing that humans will keep producing, consuming, and innovating. As long as capital markets exist, this logic holds. It won't make you money every year, but it's the simplest way to share in the long-term growth of the world's best companies. Now that you understand why the S&P 500, let's talk about the most powerful force in wealth creation: compound interest. Let me give you a quick test. Option A: get 30 million NTD right now. Option B: get 1 NTD today. Doubled every day for 30 days. Which do you choose? Most people instinctively pick a 30 million. Sounds like a sure thing. But the truth is, Option B gives you over 500 million NTD after 30 days. For the first 20 days, it looks like nothing. 1, 2, 4 NTD. You might even think it's a scam, but after day 20, the curve explodes upward. The gains in the last few days are more than all the gains from the first 20 days combined. That's the terrifying power of compound interest. The S&P 500's long-term annual return, with dividends reinvested, is roughly 10%. 10% a year sounds unimpressive. Your friend might brag about their crypto jumping 30% in a day. But what truly changes lives isn't short-term spikes. It's compound interest that keeps going for decades. Here's the rule of 72. Divide 72 by your annual return. And that's how many years it takes for your money to double. 72 divided by 10 is 7.2 years. That means your money in the S&P 500 roughly doubles every 7 years. It's not a guarantee, but it shows you just how valuable time is. Let me do the math for you. Invest 2.5 million NTD at age 30 and never add another dollar. Age 37, 5 million NTD age 44, tilde 10 million NTD age 51, 20 million NTD age 58, 40 million NTD age 65, tilde 70 million NTD. You do absolutely nothing. You just plant a seed at 30, resist the urge to dig it up, and let it grow. If you add regular monthly investments on top, the final number will blow your mind. At this point, you're probably wondering, how much do I need to quit my job for good? This is where the 4% rule comes in, the standard used by the Global FIRE Financial Independence Retire Early movement. It comes from a landmark study by professors at Trinity University. They backtested nearly 100 years of market data and found that if you withdraw 4% of your investment portfolio each year in retirement, adjusting for inflation, your money will almost certainly last 30 years with a balanced stock-bond allocation. It's a historical rule of thumb, not a guarantee, but it's more than enough for ordinary people to use as a guide. Reverse the math, and you get your financial freedom number, your annual living expenses FAE 25. Frugal lifestyle, 40,000 NTD FAE month equals 480,000 NTD, FAE times 25 equals 12 million NTD comfortable middle class. 80,000 NTD FAE month equals 960,000 NTD FAE times 25 equals 24 million NTD high quality lifestyle. 150,000 NTD FAE month equals 1.8 million NTD FAE times 25 equals 45 million NTD. That's your graduation number. Not some vague get-rich goal, but a concrete number. The day you hit it, you're not living on hope anymore. You're living on cash flow from your assets. You don't have to wait for your paycheck to arrive to spend money. That's true, financial freedom. Not showing off wealth, but taking back control of your life. Now the most practical question, how do people in Taiwan actually invest in the S&P 500? There are only two paths. Beginners can just copy this. Path 1. Buy Taiwan. Listed ETFs domestically. For example, Yuanta 00646. You can buy it with NTD through any Taiwanese brokerage account, no overseas account needed, no currency exchange. It works exactly like buying Taiwan stocks. Pros: super easy to trade. Capital gains are tax-free in Taiwan. Extremely beginner-friendly. Cons: higher fees, 0.3% management fee plus 0.06% custody fee equals 0.36% total. About 10 times higher than us. Listed ETFs. Path 2. Buy directly from overseas. Choose a brokerage's overseas trading service or an international broker to buy US-listed ETFs, like VEU or IVV. Fees are only 0.03%, extremely low cost. Important notes: account for currency exchange fees and wire transfer costs. For tax purposes, Taiwan residents with annual overseas income over 1 million NTD must report it for basic income tax, with a 7.5 million NTD deduction. The U.S. withholds 15% tax on dividends for Taiwanese non-residents under the U.S.-Taiwan Tax Treaty, not 30%. Me straightforward advice: beginners start with regular monthly investments in 00646. Don't mess around with overseas accounts first. Just build the habit of investing. Once you've built up a significant amount of capital and care about long-term fees, then consider switching to VU. The point isn't which path you choose, it's that you actually start. Too many people argue about taxes and fees for 10 years and never make their first investment. That's the biggest cost of all. One more tip for working people: look into the 6% voluntary labor pension contribution. The amount you contribute within the legal limit is deductible from your income tax. Even though you can't withdraw it until retirement, it's a hidden gem for ordinary people that combines tax savings and retirement building. Don't ignore it. You've got the tools, but mindset is what separates winners from losers. The S&P 500's theory is perfect, but most people fail at investing. Not because the method is hard, but because they can't handle fear and greed. The stock market crashes every few years. Bear markets with 30% plus drops are common in history. 10% corrections happen all the time. Imagine you invest 2 million NTD and wake up one day to see it's only worth 1.4 million NTD. 600,000 NTD just vanished. Most people panic and sell. Then they buy back in when the market has already recovered, buying high, selling low, and losing all their money to their own emotions. Think about it this way, if a designer bag went on sale for 30% off, you'd rush to buy it. When the S&P 500 crashes, it's America's top 500 companies going on sale. And you run away scared. Every crisis brings people saying, this time is different. The 2008 crash, the 2020 pandemic, all the same. But history proves over and over, the market recovers, companies adapt, and the long-term rules don't change because of emotions. So the best strategy for ordinary people is regular monthly investing. No market timing on payday. Every month, buy the same amount no matter what the market is doing. You buy fewer shares when prices are high, more shares when prices are low. Over time, your average cost naturally evens out. It sounds stupid, but it's the only way ordinary people survive and thrive in the market. You don't have to watch the market every day. You don't have to study candlestick charts, spend your time making more money and living your life. Let the system work for you. Finally, 3 critical withdrawal rules for financial freedom. These are the life-saving details most people miss. Flexible withdrawals: spend more when the market is good. Take that trip, enjoy your life. Spend less when the market is bad. Never sell stocks at the bottom. The 4% rule is a guide, not a rigid number. Flexibility is what makes it last. Cash buffer. Keep at least 1 to 2 years of living expenses in cash or short-term bonds. When the market crashes, live off this money. Don't be forced to sell your stocks at a loss. Wait for the market to rebound before touching your investment portfolio. This is your life raft through bear markets. Financial freedom isn't about doing nothing. People get bored and empty when they have absolutely nothing to do. The S&P 500 doesn't give you a life of lying on the beach. It gives you the freedom to not do work you hate. You can paint, write, open a small shop that doesn't have to make money, spend time with your family. You're not trapped by your bills. That's what economic freedom really means. I know some of you will watch this and think 10% a year is too slow, and go chase get-rich-quick schemes. That's fine. Truly effective investing is never exciting, never thrilling, never miraculous. It's just long-term consistency. But some of you will open your brokerage app today and set up that monthly investment. Your first deposit might only be a few thousand NTD, so small, it feels silly. But remember, this seed won't grow into a tree overnight. It will go through ups and downs, crashes and doubts. It will test your patience while others laugh at how slow you're going. But in 10-20 years, it will grow into a tree that shelters you and your family from life's storms. The best time to invest was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. The system is already here. The rules haven't changed. You don't need to watch another video. You don't need to wait for the next correction. You just need to press start. 2 immediate action steps for today. Open your brokerage app and set up a monthly regular investment in 00646. Start with just 1,000 NTD. Calculate your own financial freedom number using the 4% rule and save it in your phone from today on. Let time and compound interest help you live a truly free life.